case you don't know us, you're just twisting the dial away and managed to bump into us. This is ZIZ Radio from out of St. Kitts.
Hi, pleasant good morning to everybody, and welcome to another feature program of Policing with You. It's a special program today because the RSS, that's the Regional Security System, is celebrating its 40th anniversary. And we have in the studio with us today Superintendent Travis Rogers, the Tactical Commander here in St. Kitts. Welcome, Superintendent.
Good morning, Superintendent Francis.
Yes, and over the internet, we have with us Double Warrant Officer Geraldine from Barbados, and he's joining us on the internet. He's not here in the studio with us. Welcome, Mr. Dean. Okay, there seemed to be a little technical difficulty. Yes, so we're gonna have the program today with Superintendent Rogers and Warrant Officer Mr. Geraldine. Okay, I think we need to pause a bit because we need Mr. Dean with us. Yes. Just wait on GQ. GQ? He stepped out of the studio for a bit, so I think we're live. Okay, Mr. Dean, can you hear us? Okay, we're not hearing Mr. Dean. GQ, we're not hearing Mr. Dean. Oh, Mr. Dean? Mr. Dean? No, we're not hearing him. Can we take a break and come back? Yes, please.
What you think about justice? What you know about love? Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite. What you think about justice? What you know about love? Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you think about justice, brother man. Oh, tell me what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation, child. Let us unite. Oh, yo. I'm waiting. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. I'm waiting. Oh, yo. Tell me what you think about Marcus. Tell me what you think about Christ. Made their sacrifice now. Tell me what you think about equal rights. for all, everywhere. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation, all our but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know about hate that keeps us separated. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all in every way. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Oh, love. So many can testify. Love, oh, love. But you still can't satisfy. You keep on praying. You wish that day would come when there'll be equal rights and justice for every man. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite. What you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Oh, yo, 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 yo. I'm wait. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo, 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 yo. I'm wait. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Tell me what you think about Marcus. Tell me what you think about Christ. Made their sacrifice now. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all, everywhere. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? All are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know about hate that keeps us separated. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all in every way. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Oh, love. So many can testify. Love, oh, love. But you still can't satisfy. You keep on praying. You wish that day would come when there'll be equal rights and justice for every man. sacrifice now. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all, everywhere. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation, all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know about hate that keeps us separated. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all in every way. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Oh, love. So many can testify. Love, oh, love. But you still can't satisfy. You keep on praying. You wish that day would come when there'll be equal rights and justice for every man. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite. What you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? All are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you think about justice, brother man. Oh, tell me what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation, child, child. Let us unite. Oh, yo, 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 yo. I'm way. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo, 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 yo. I'm way. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Tell me what you think about Marcus. Tell me what you think about Christ. Made their sacrifice now. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all, everywhere. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? All are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know are separated. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all in every way. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Oh Lord, so many can testify. Love, oh Lord, but you still can't satisfy. You keep on praying. You wish that day would come when there'll be equal rights and justice for every man. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite. What you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you think about justice, brother man. Oh, tell me what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation, child, child. Let us unite.
We are in the peak of the hurricane season and amid a pandemic. Nagico Insurances reminds you to remain vigilant and stay prepared. Review your family disaster plan to make sure it includes COVID-19 safety protocols and that your insurance coverage on your home, contents, and or business is up to date. Contact a Nagico representative today to make sure you are properly insured. Nagico Insurances, fast, fair, and always there.
Shirley is celebrating 70 years. Can you believe it? Everyone loves a Shirley biscuit, known for its rich, creamy taste, as well as the iconic house and flower design. We all know Shirley is the perfect on-the-go snack, and it's truly the Caribbean's favorite. Simply put, there's nothing quite like a Shirley biscuit. I can't imagine life without it. I too love my Shirley.
It's the Caribbean flavor. Shirley biscuits make me happy.
Green means go with one rate.
Green means go with one rate. From Republic Bank, go green with hybrid or electric vehicles, and it's one low rate. And we mean low. Go green with solar-powered air conditioners, grids, water heaters, and it's still one low rate. Any green product, the same low rate. Enjoy up to 100% financing and flexible repayment. Offer lasts till December 31st. Terms and conditions apply. Call or come into our nearest branch for details.
Green means go with one rate today.
We're the one for you.
And roll it.
Are you ready for the biggest, sweetest carnival St. Kitts and Nevis has ever witnessed? From December 2nd to January 3rd, it's the return of Sugar Mass with captivating pageantry, sweet pants, soca and calypso music, folklore, major carnival fets, Juve, Junior Carnival, and ending it all off with the highly anticipated Grand Parade on the 2nd and 3rd of January. Don't miss out on the action. Save the dates, December 2nd to January 3rd. Let's celebrate as one for Sugar Mass 51. Like our social media pages for regular updates at SKN Carnival and our website at skncarnival.com for more information.
Yes, President, good morning. We are here in the studio with another featured program of Policing with You. We're a little late because of little technical difficulties, but the guys have solved it. So we're going to still press on to do the program. The program will go until at least 10:15, there about a little bit more than that. Okay, as I indicated, we have in the studio with me today, I have Superintendent Travis Rogers, the Tactical Commander here in St. Kitts. Welcome, Superintendent Rogers.
Good morning, Superintendent Francis.
And we have on the telephone line Warrant Officer Cheryl Dean out of Barbados, representing RSS, Regional Security Systems. Welcome, Mr. Dean.
Travis, good morning to you and welcome to your radio station.
Okay, beautiful. We're hearing you loud and clear. This would be wonderful. Okay, the RSS, for the listening audience, the RSS is celebrating its 40th anniversary, and we want to thank you, Mr. Dean, for joining us out of Barbados to lend of your experience and enlighten the listening and viewing audience as to the activities and sensitize us with reference to RSS. Mr. Dean, I'll be asking you a few questions. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much. Now, first of all, what is the regional security system and what role does it play in the region?
Well, let me just give you a slight background to the creation of the regional security system. It was created out of a need for a collaborative response to security threats which were impacting the stability of the region in the 70s and 80s. And in 1982, 4 members of the OECS, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, namely Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they signed a memorandum of understanding with Barbados to provide neutral assistance on request. So that is very important, neutral assistance on request.
Yes.
So the RSS is not an organization that will go into a country. It must be requested, and then it will go in. But there are a number of components to the RSS, or a number of areas that or departments that make up the regional security system. Suffice to say that in 1983, with the assistance of the United States, the RSS mounted its first operation to restore democracy in Grenada. And today, 40 years after, we are celebrating the formation of the regional security system.
Okay, thank you very much for that. To follow up, some persons would say that the RSS, persons, the layman who might know much, they would say RSS is a big army camp. Can you tell us about the setup and its day-to-day operation, the RSS?
All right, let's begin at the very top. The chief mechanism or the organization that makes the decisions really is the Security Council. That comprises of not Security Council, Council of Ministers, and that consists of the ministers responsible for security in the respective RSS member states. From there, you then have all of the security chiefs, and I must state here that the RSS is a hybrid organization consisting of military and police under their respective commands. But when they are deployed, they come under a contingent commander. So apart from the Council of Ministers and the security chiefs, then we have the RSS headquarters consisting of the executive director, the deputy executive director, a number of directors for plans, training, assets recovery, policing, and risk management. There's also a project coordinator, and there's also a regional maritime officer. And I must add here that all of these staff within the RSS headquarters are not Barbadians.
Not Barbadians.
Police officers, they're not Barbadians. Police officers and military officers from the respective member states are seconded to the RSS, usually for 2 years, and they perform various functions at the RSS headquarters.
Okay, thank you very much. And as you indicated, I know some persons from St. Kitts have been seconded as well. I've recently one of the guys from the cyber security unit here in St. Kitts. He was seconded for at least up to a year and a half down there. So I'm aware of that. That's very good. So it's a properly structured. RSS is properly structured from what you've explained.
Yes, we have at the RSS, apart from the headquarters, the executive director, Commodore Ayrton Sherlin. We also have what is known as the Digital Forensic Lab and the Assets Recovery Unit.
Yes.
There's also the RSS Earring. There's a Maritime Unit.
Wow.
There's a Regional Crime Observatory, and there's also a training institute where a number of courses are run throughout the year for the benefit of both military and police.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, this next question would be a little personal for you. How long have you been with the RSS, and can you tell us about what you do there?
All right. I first was seconded from the Barbados Defense Force in 1999 to the RSS, and I acted as Assistant Staff Officer Logistics. And primarily at that time, I was working on an exercise called UNEX 1999 that was held in Dominica. Now, military and police personnel would know about trade winds.
Yeah, trade winds.
UNEX, or Unity Exercise, is an RSS-funded exercise. And that was held that year in Dominica. We're looking to have another one next year in St. Lucia. In 2011, I was again seconded from the Barbados Defense Force to the RSS and served as its first Forces Sergeant Major working in the training department. And during that period of time, I had the opportunity of conducting training courses in St. Kitts, in St. Vincent, in St. Lucia, in Antigua, and certainly in Barbados.
Wow.
I will recall that having been qualified in England as a drill instructor, I went to St. Lucia and I conducted a drill course for the police, prison, fire officers, and one or two other people over a 4-week period. Since I retired from the military, I am back at the Regional Security System now, and I serve as the Staff Officer Logistics. My main responsibility is just about everything at the RSS.
Just about everything.
In other words, if the Earring needs to buy a part for the aircraft, they will contact me and I will go out, I will source it if it is to be bought locally. If it is to be bought overseas, again, I will source it overseas. I will do all the customs work, or one of my assistants will do the custom work. The end of the day is that we get that part to the Earring so that the aircraft can fly. If there's a need to have additional space in terms of building, that's my responsibility. In terms of furniture, assets, that's my responsibility. Vehicles, purchasing vehicles, furniture, whatever the case may be. We have the Council of Ministers meeting, and that is rotated. Right now, the chairman of the Council of Ministers is the Prime Minister of Grenada. And the incoming chairman for next year, April, will be the Prime Minister of St. Kitts.
Okay.
So when we have the Council of Ministers meeting, my responsibility is to fly into St. Kitts and set up everything for the meeting to make sure it goes as planned, and then once they leave, then return to Barbados.
All right, thank you very much. So you're a true Caribbean man.
Yes.
Yes,
The only
sir.
country in the Caribbean that I've not yet visited or worked in is Guyana, and Guyana likely to coming on stream as a member, the newest member of the RSS. I think I'm gonna get there.
Beautiful. Okay, you had mentioned earlier RSS served the member states. With reference to the member states, is this free to the member states? Is there some form of contribution or anything of that nature?
Yes, the member states, when the Council of Ministers meet, there is a budget that is presented by the executive director to the ministers, and by and large, they agree on that budget, and each member state pays a percentage from their respective countries to fund the operations of the regional security system.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. The institution RSS celebrated its 40th anniversary last month. Can you indicate to the listening audience what was some of the activities held in commemoration of the occasion, and what is the significance of such a milestone of 40 years?
One of the activities that we had planned was a church service in Grenada. As I stated earlier, one of our first operations was in Grenada, and we had our 40th anniversary church service in Grenada. That was attended by Her Excellency, the Governor General of Grenada, the Prime Minister of Grenada in his capacity as Chairman of the Council of Ministers. All of the security chiefs, both military and police, attended that church service, as well as representatives of the various security forces. In most instances, there were either 5 police officers from those countries that don't have a military, and then there were 5 military and 5 police officers from those countries that had the military, like Barbados, Antigua, and Barbuda, and St. Kitts, and Nevis. That church service was held, and after the church service, then on the Monday, that was on the 9th of October, on the Monday, the 10th, the Council of Ministers, the security chiefs met in Grenada also for their meeting. We were supposed to have a Council of Ministers meeting the following day, but that was postponed until December. And then on the Wednesday and Thursday, the Coast Guard commanders, you did hear him mention about our regional maritime officer that worked in the headquarters, and he liaisoned with all of the Coast Guard commanders in the RSS member states. And they had a meeting on the Wednesday and Thursday to look at their operations and their plans forward. Apart from that, a T10 cricket match was held in Barbados, and we had a team from the Barbados Defense Force, the Barbados Police Service, the Barbados Prison Service, and an RSS team consisted of members from Barbados, St. Lucia, and Dominica. That cricket team. And I'm pleased to say that the RSS team won that T10 cricket match. Apart from that, there was also an art competition that was held among the RSS member states, and St. Vincent, a young lady from St. Vincent, was the winner of that art competition. And there are other activities that are being planned. Only yesterday, there was a seminar dealing with men's health at the RSS headquarters, where we brought in a doctor, and we were able to look at all the issues affecting men from a health point of view and solutions to some of the problems. But the activities are continuing.
Continuing. All right, so thank you very much. I know the RSS motto is strength to unity. I'm one of the members as well, an RSS trained individual. You trained me back in 2010, If you could have seen my face, you remember me. How would you say the RSS has evolved and grown over the years?
The RSS is today seen as a model establishment, not only in the Caribbean, but I would have to say throughout the world. We receive funding from the US, from Canada, from Britain, from the European Union, and all of them are amazed at how can small developing states in the Caribbean come together and cooperate like the RSS does. And on a regular basis, we get officials coming to the RSS headquarters to receive a briefing on the operation of the RSS there. I mean, I'm speaking of officials sometimes from France, from Canada, from Congress in the United States. They come and see how we operate as members. Bearing in mind that we have military and we have police, but the unity is there. And because of our strategic management, because of our system of operation, and also because of that cooperation between the member states, we are able to ensure that the RSS works to the maximum benefit of the entire Caribbean. Now, we bear in mind that the members of the RSS are Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts Nevis, Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and Barbados. And coming on stream shortly will be Guyana. And there are a number of other countries in the Caribbean that show an interest in joining the RSS.
Okay, thank you very much. You indicated earlier how the RSS assisted Grenada some time back. What would you say has been the impact of the RSS in the region thus far?
The RSS in the region is still looked upon as that organization that any member state can turn to in the times of need. Now, we must take out front that the RSS is not just about boats and bullets and going into a country, but whenever the need arises from a humanitarian point of view, we are there to support whatever state requests us. For example, we were in St. Vincent, we were deployed to St. Vincent and Grenadines just the other day when the La Soufrière volcano erupted. When there was a hurricane that affected Dominica, the RSS was deployed there to provide additional security and assistance to the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Although the Bahamas is not a member of the regional security system, when they were affected by the hurricane just over a year ago, the RSS was also deployed there to offer assistance to them. So that is the sort of cooperation, not only the military operations, but also in the event of humanitarian assistance. I would draw another scenario. Just about 2 years ago, there was a CARICOM, heads of government conference in St. Lucia. They were having some challenges with insufficient motorcycles to escort the dignitaries, and they turned to the regional security system. And I was asked to seek the assistance of the various police commissioners where we could get them from, and eventually we got motorcycles from St. Kitts and Antigua and Barbuda. And one of the Coast Guard vessels from St. Vincent sailed up to St. Kitts Nevis, and we placed 3 cycles on that vessel. Then it sailed down to Antigua and Barbuda. We placed another 3, and then from there, the boat sailed all the way down to St. Lucia. So that's another form of cooperation where we can help. During the COVID pandemic, the RSS aircraft was more or less the one that was doing a lot of flights, and we were able to move dignitaries within the CARICOM, and particularly the RSS member states, from one country to another country. And in particular, when we had those various samples that had to go down to Trinidad to Charter for analysis, the RSS aircraft was the one that was used all the time.
All the time.
To fly samples down there and get the results back up to the respective countries.
I'm not right here on my list.
Mr. Dean, you've indicated a lot to us. Thank you very much. If you could wait on the line, I would now turn to Superintendent Rogers and ask him 2 questions. But in the interim, GQ, no calls? I want to indicate to the listening public that they can call in to ZIZ just in case they have a question for you, Mr. Dean or Superintendent Rogers. Okay, I'll turn to Superintendent Rogers. So, what has been your experience with the RSS?
Okay, thank you for that question, Superintendent Francis. And I must say first, before I answer that question, it's a pleasure hearing your voice, W.O. Dean. And it's a pleasure over the years working close with the RSS. To date, on and off, I have worked almost 2 decades closely with the RSS, mostly through drug interdiction. And this brings about now to answer the question of what has been my experience. I would say this experience I've had over the 2 decades working with the RSS has been a tremendous one, Superintendent Francis. I would not give it up for anything else. It has helped build my career, especially in the area of tactical efforts, being the tactical commando of the Special Services Unit and the drug squad. You yourself is a recipient of and a beneficiary of the RSS, and you have worked with me as my deputy in the drug squad, and that I'm grateful. But what has been the hallmark of my experience is the ability to network. Yeah, because networking comes from continuous training. You trained frequently with the RSS in many different areas, and you're able to meet lots of people from the 7 nations, and you're able to now communicate. And in the drug area and tactical stuff, you would need to have contacts, and you were able to communicate with every single island if there was a need for any assistance, any information sharing, and that was key for me. It developed me as a police officer in general in my specific area and roles. That made me really truly what I am today, and I must thank the RSS for being a part of my development. This development aided me to make my units as best as I could have made them be. Alright, because of course you would have to need it, want it to get there. So, but because of the training and my experiences, I was able to chart the way forward, and not just for my unit, but for the Royal St. Christopher Navy's Police Force on a whole, and then the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So it has been a vast experience. It has been exciting, and I'm getting older now, so I have to pass the baton over to other persons. So, but I'm thankful for the RSS for that experience.
Okay, thank you very much. I have one more question for you, but we have 2 calls. We're going to take them, but we're going to still get back to that last question. Okay. Yes, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Francis.
Morning, sir.
And good morning, GQ.
Good morning.
Yeah, and to the big man in Barbados who've been in there for 40 years. Now, my question is this. In the late 50s and the entire 1960s, the Caribbean islands had 2 ships, the Federal Maple and the Federal Palm. And those ships used to carry passengers from island to island all around the Caribbean and even outside the Caribbean. My question is, how come the RSS do not have a battleship so they can protect and defend other countries from invaders? I will listen out the ear. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dean, did you hear that question?
Yes, I heard the question.
Would you be able to assist?
And I would say, yes, we do not have a large battleship, but that does not mean it is not something that we're working on with assistance. Suffice to say, though, is that between the RSS member states, and again, I come back to our regional maritime officer who sits in the RSS headquarters, he is responsible, and he receives reports from all of the Coast Guard commanders on a daily basis, and wherever there is a need for assistance, then they go out. And there is also the patrols where the Barbados Coast Guard will do a patrol under the regional security system. And the same thing will be said for St. Vincent and for the other member states. So, but by and large, there is always a vessel out at sea doing a patrol on behalf of the regional security system.
Thank you very much, sir. Another question, another call? Okay, we have another call. Pleasant good morning. You're on the ear.
Yes. Hello, Superintendent Francis.
Yes,
and Superintendent Rogers.
Yes, sir.
I want to make a comment to the guy from Barbados, because I live in America, and I was here in the 80s when the Marines went to Grenada.
Yeah.
And I want to just emphasize, one of my cousins was in the United States Marine, and he liberated Grenada. His name was Livingston Davis. He was born, you know my sister Dumpling and Jam Down?
Yes,
that's his cousin. Now he's a gunny sergeant who retired from the United States Marine Corps, but he was born in St. Kitts.
Yes.
My question is, why did Rosina Charles from the Dominica Prime Minister ask the United States to come instead of England and Canada? I will listen to that off the phone.
Okay, thank you very much for that call. I don't know if Double-O, I don't know if you're able to assist with that question.
You know, recently the first regional security coordinator of the RSS, now Brigadier Sir Wilbert Lewis, in an interview, in an RSS interview as part of the 40th anniversary celebrations, was asked a similar question as to why the RSS, to a certain extent, they did the Grenada. And his response was, I'm a soldier, and I always follow orders. As it relates to why the US and not Britain or Canada, I'm not quite sure. But I know that the US had the assets and Barbados was used as a base. That is as much as I would say.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Okay, we don't have any more questions. Superintendent Rogers, my last question to you before we open the line for any questions or wrap up is, as an officer in the member state, in one of the member states, what would you say is the significance of the RSS to the Federation?
Okay, thank you for that question. And I would say that W.O. Dean has made mention of lots of benefits for the various islands, the 7 nation islands that are part of the RSS. And I would dare to piggyback on what he had said, because I have similar answers. St. Kitts and Nevis, like I said, joined in 1983 after the other 5 islands came together. And over the years, we have benefited tremendously as being a member, and I would outline a few things. So give me a few minutes to do so. What he has done through training brought about a professional personnel within the organization, both the police force and the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force. They have ensured that all of our members that within the SSN Drug Squad and even outside of the SSN Drug Squad, because he would have mentioned asset recovery teams, he would have mentioned digital forensic, and we have those departments that are recipient of training. You yourself, basic and advanced training. I myself would have gone through similar training, drug interdiction, and just you name it. So our police force has been equipped with the necessary tool through training, physical and otherwise, to benefit the organization. This is an increase in national security because the training is beneficial to us so that we can protect our borders and our shores. I have here support border control, and this is through our maritime aspect. Dean would have mentioned that through our coast guards and through our air support. The air wing from RSS give aerial support when requested to do so. We have the smuggling and drug trafficking prevention. Sergeant Farrell and Constable Tony, two recipients, just recently graduated on Friday of that similar training, illicit drug trafficking and drug investigation, firearms and trafficking in person. These are training that we are a recipient of. And I go down, for example, on request, as Warrant Officer Dean would have mentioned, that on request we seek the RSS assistance, and in 48 hours they could be on our shores. Our last deployment would have been Operation Safe Street, and you would have remembered that when we had an issue with gang-related crimes and murders, and we had RSS brought in, and they were here for maybe a few months, that they assisted our local police and defense force to cover our streets. So that is a benefit, is a beneficiary of that type of operation. We had the prison riots in 1993 and 1994. The RSS was here when the prison got burned down. In 1998, we had Hurricane George. They came and gave humanitarian assistance in the aftermath of that hurricane. They assist in the movement of troops. For example, we are going to Barbados, and I think the Defense Force is presently in Barbados doing training under the auspices of the RSS. And we have our air wing that come to St. Kitts in the absence of commercial flights and take our troops down. They take dignitaries, they take government officials, our high commander down. So that those are benefits that we have unopposed to the use of commercial aircraft. They assist in taking patients, and I want to highlight that the last major operations that the RSS air wing would have contributed to St. Kitts, and Warrant Officer Dean mentioned it, was the taken during the pandemic. We are now on an endemic, and we had 2 years of a real pandemic, and the RSS aircraft was back and forth here almost maybe twice a week.
Back and forth in St. Kitts.
Back and forth in St. Kitts, and I'm sure that the other islands were a recipient of the same, but we didn't have a personal aircraft. We had the RSS aircraft coming, taking samples down to Trinidad, to CARFA, and returning with results in a timely manner. So they assist the health department and ministry tremendously, and we are grateful for that. And this comes about because we are a member. So we're just not paying our monies and paying our dues, we are benefiting tremendously. Just like recently, we had the officers going into Grenada for a celebration, and we had officers from the Defense Force journey down there. But holistically, Superintendent Francis, it gives a sense of security, national security, knowing that we can call on the RSS through its office in headquarters in Barbados and request if there are any issues on the island of St. Kitts and Nevis, and we could get our brother and sisters to come on down and stabilize the country. So that is important to me. So the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are grateful, and it's tremendous benefit from being a member of the RSS as a small island state federation. All right, so that's some of the things I would just like to highlight. For example, the training that I would have mentioned that the RSS offered, and they're vast. You have the basic infantry training and the advanced drug investigation, illicit drug trafficking, drug interdiction, prosecution. We have executive leadership course training that is ongoing now, and we have 3 recipients from here there. Internal security, what people call riot, map reading, navigation, and the maritime that goes to the Coast Guard. And without the RSS, we may have to journey somewhere else. Might have been more costly, but just being a member, the Federation is benefiting tremendously. And I will end there.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Waters. Strength through unity.
That's correct. That's correct.
Strength through unity. Okay, I will turn to Warrant Officer Dean. I'll give you. We have a call? Okay, I'll give you the opportunity to wrap up, Mr. Dean. Any
I
closing
just want
comments?
to add here as it relates to training that when participants come to Barbados to attend training courses, it is not just to attend another training course, but it is all towards certification. For example, the International Leadership and Management course that is presently being conducted is being conducted by Durham Constabulary from England, and that is a certification course. A lot of our management and leadership courses are conducted at the University of the West Indies, Cave campus. And that again is certification courses. A lot of the courses conducted by the Coast Guard, such as the coxswain course, the boarding officers course, the engineering course, again, this gives all of the members the necessary expertise, and not only expertise in working to ensure that the vessels are operational, but at the same time, they're working with others from the other member states. So, for example, aboard the Grenada had a problem in one of the parts, and St. Kitts had that particular part. A simple phone call up the line, and that we sorted out, and the RSS air wing fly up to St. Kitts, get the part, get it to Grenada, and then the boat is back on the water. And again, at the RSS headquarters, we are working on a central logistic hub where parts for all of these boats will be available at short notice. But that is something that you're working on. So those are some of the courses, and the command and staff course, again, at higher command level for police officers and military officers, and I am one of the beneficiaries of that course, and especially from time management and service writing, it helps you very, 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 very good. So I would say that over 40 years, the RSS have come a long way. We've played our part, and I know that the people of the Caribbean are very proud of the work of the RSS.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Dean. Thank you for joining us from Barbados on the line. Wrap-up comments, Superintendent Rogers. Any closing comments?
Well, I first want to say how grateful I am for being a part of this presentation, being a member of the RSS, and being working with them closely, and also being here with you as you as the host. I want to thank Mr. Dean for being here with us and sensitizing the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis as to the role the RSS plays, because lots of time people hear RSS and you hear RSS, oh, RSS would come in and do this and do that, but RSS is just not a force that entrench on islands, but there are lots of offers, lots of benefits, and I'm grateful that the government of the day back then took the initiative to be a part of the RSS, because we can see how we are truly benefiting as a nation, and we're just going to be encouraged to continue serving our people and serving the people of the Caribbean, because like you say, strength in unity, and that's how it works. All right, thank you, Mr. Dean, for being here with us, and thank you, Superintendent Francis.
Okay, Mr. Dean, I want to say thank you from St. Kitts to Barbados. Thank you for the training that you offered to me personally. Through RSS. When I saw your picture, I was like, wow. So I want to thank you for coming on the program today and enlightening us on the activities run by RSS on the 40th anniversary. Superintendent Waters, thank you for taking time out and being here. GQ, thank you, and the management staff of ZIZ. And I want to say thanks to everybody who looked at the radio program, listened in, and called and asked questions. Okay? So see you all next week on another program of Policing with You. GQ, see you when I see you.
Thank you.
All right, sir.
We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one.
20 minutes moving away from the hour. Don't touch that dial. We have more for you right here on ZYZ Radio, on part of the morning show. Coming to your compliments, the Cable Court, Smart Electronics, Domino's, Digicel, and Beacon Insurance. We're going to take a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back. I have Queenie G, as promised, in the studio for this morning release of her new single. We'll find out what the name of that single coming up in just a bit.